my name is Ria Mittal. Weird is good. Now my question is, what's so special behind the concept of normal? And why do people get so attracted to it? Why do so many people idolize Instagram famous models and like to hop onto common trends, even if they involve hurting themselves, like the Kylie Jenner lip challenge? I believe this stems from innocence. The effects of innocence could be positive or negative. The positive aspects affects your younger self more, since you do not have any biases and learn about the world with a new pair of eyes. If I were to write a poem to my younger self, it would read as follows. Dear Arohi, or Tigger to loved ones, the girl who had no cares whatsoever. The girl from Long Island who loved waving goodbye to her dad from the apartment window as he left to work in the mornings. Who had a best friend named Ben, who loved bread, and who she did everything with. The girl who tried to tell the teacher that someone hit her and called her stupid, only to hear back that she was stupid and nothing could be done. The girl who got scared when she saw a boy she liked pick his nose in class. Who liked to secretly steal chocolate from the cabinet above the sink, and who stole a pencil from a mean girl named Christina and never gave it back. You were something, huh? This was an age where all the surroundings were coming alive, and first-time experiences became long-lasting memories. Innocence was prime, and the people who mainly affected us were parents, a couple of school friends, and teachers. If I did something wrong, I don't know what it was, or why it was wrong. I lived life freely, without any cares at all. If we fast forward a little, we see the other side of innocence, which I associate with the negative innocence. I also associate this with easily getting succumbed to trying to fit in to an ideal image based on an individual's single story as perceived by society. My single story, as I look back, my single story seems to be that of a basic Indian girl, probably with some association to curry. My next letter, a couple years later, would read, Dear Arohi, I know you are not doing this intentionally, but please try to wake up from this robotic movement behind the purchasing of clothing from Aeropostale, Abercrombie, UGG, Vera Bradley. A lot of this stuff doesn't even look good, and I know you agree. Also, who cares about everyone else? Who cares about those people who can't handle change? If someone can't pronounce your name, it's okay, they will learn. Take pride in who you are and fight bullies back. In these middle school years, I suffered from what I call was an oblivious innocence. Here, I easily fell into the society's trap of trying to reform each individual to get stuck in their single stories. I began to seek comfort in normal because being myself was an open-ended concept too complicated to think about and deal with. Therefore, I attempted to buy popular clothing and create a personality that would help me fit in. What's sad about this whole thing is that I wasn't even happy. Even though I bought all these name brand items, I didn't feel true happiness. It was just a feeling of pleasure that came from almost being that idealized image of beauty. It was almost like a drug now that I think about it. Every time I tried to fit in, I slipped into this paradox where the closer I superficially felt, the further I actually was from attaining any type of happiness. Furthermore, I changed something about myself. Something that is probably the biggest identifier for anyone really. My name. Even if someone may not have anything, no clothes, no home, no family, one thing that they will always have is their name. Somehow I fell so deep into the wanting to fit in that one of my most concrete parts of my identity was also compromised. Now I'd like to return to one of my original questions. Why people idolize Instagram famous models and like to hop onto common trends even if they involve hurting themselves, like the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. Let's take a look at some examples of these major influences and how they affect the people around them. Here I will talk about the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. Kylie, part of the Kardashian family, had her lips done to get from here to here. Should people with thinner lips feel obligated to hurt themselves with shot glass in order to have a chance at being valued in society? I think the reason behind this mental stigma of actually going through with the challenges like these is that people want to belong to a group and relate to people that are of a higher class than them in order for them to feel appreciated. Now, let's take a look at Instagram. Despite all the nice looking food and attractive landscapes, there are a ton of insecurities sequestered in the depths of Instagram. People are constantly feeling like they have to prove their beauty by posting perfect pictures, by hiding their insecurities and pretending like they aren't there, which in turn lower the self-esteem of the people who like the pictures, because what is displayed to them is a falsified, unattainable ideal of beauty. Therefore, more people try to hide their insecurities and portray themselves as normal, perfect individuals. The ideal keeps growing, and it all just becomes this big loop, which negatively affects tons of people around the world. Insta-famous is a term which basically means that someone has become famous through Instagram. Isina O'Neill, here's a clip of the Insta-famous girl, Isina O'Neill, who claims to quit social media after enduring the harsh realities of the beauty ideal.
Carefully edited videos on YouTube. I did everything in my power to prove to the world that, hey, I'm important, I'm beautiful, and I'm cool. But it's making your whole day proving to everyone else that you're amazing. Is that life? Proving yourself online, taking pictures just in hopes to get likes and compliments, getting excited over how many likes you got or how many people follow you. It's not life. And it's not what's making you happy. You want to be valued and loved, but you also want to be free. You know how good it is just to have a day and not think about anyone else, what everyone else is doing, but be with real people?
Everyone has insecurities, and we need to realize that they are the key to making us different and weird. If I were to write a letter to myself when I was in high school, it would read as follows. Dear Ria, it's been a while since you've changed your name. You're in the last chunk of your high school career, ready to depart from home, literally months away from attending Case Western in Cleveland for the next 4 years. I know you have big goals. Becoming a doctor will be far from easy, but I want you to remember who you are and where you come from. You are more than just a basic Indian girl with some relation to curry. Over these years in high school, you left behind the girl who had an oblivious innocence. You began to help people, whether it was for friends who were going through tough times or for the elderly, and you took a stand in issues such as making the planet greener. As a Girl Scout, you were awarded with a Gold Award for educating children on avoiding obesity. The award you watched accomplished girls receive on a large stage every single year since you were 8. You read books and learned about different perspectives and communities, such as LGBTQ+ and feminism. You fell helplessly in love with biology. You took a stand in women in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, as a part of your Girl Scout robotics team. And now you've somehow risen to co-captain of the high school robotics team. You made some really amazing friends who you made 12 a.m. Taco Bell runs with, cried with, laughed with. This is probably the only time I would actually say my accomplishments out loud, other than my college apps, of course. But I feel like this is necessary to admit to yourself once in a while, not just to see how far you've come, but also to learn how to improve on yourself. I talked to my grandmother a couple years back, and she told me, Ria, one thing I want you to do in your life is improve on yourself. Do it every day. Instead of blaming things on other people or your circumstance when you're having trouble, see how you can make yourself be the best you can be and keep an open mind. The words keep an open mind rung in my head for a while. Here I'd like to share a series of experiences with you, which made me who I am today. In the beginning of high school, as I was walking home from my bus stop one day, I saw a Chinese grandpa walking down his lawn to his mailbox with a slight frown. We made eye contact for a couple seconds, and me, my socially awkward self, didn't know what to do. So I decided to take control of the situation rather than let my awkward self prevail, and so I waved my hand and threw a big smile at him. His expression changed so drastically that it stuck with me and will probably stick with me for the rest of my life. He looked so happy. It was that day that I realized that a single wave and a smile has so much power, and I was missing out on this hidden aspect of life. From this experience, I began to have a happier persona. My second experience that I'd like to share was when I shadowed a physical therapist. Dr. Mannheimer introduced me to his patient who had demonstrated a unique sense of strength at a seemingly difficult time in her life. The doctor handed me his clipboard, which read, "Due to failed surgical procedure on tumor, nerve endings in jaw damaged. Cannot open mouth more than 2 millimeters." I asked her, "What? What and how can you eat?" Her mouth took a slanted position, and she responded with an almost indistinguishable accent, slurring her S's and her F's. "I can eat mashed up foods, or I use a straw." She must have seen my eyes widening, because she followed with, "Yeah, I wish I had paid more attention to enjoying meals before the surgery." I then asked, "Hasn't this been hard for you?" She strained, but smiled, and said, "Although it first seemed like a major, huge obstacle, I did not allow my whole life to be dictated by my condition. In fact, it's a small price to pay if it means I can be alive to see my children grow up to become successful adults. Both of my own are in college right now." Over the course of the last 3 appointments, Dr. Mannheimer helped her open her mouth to 6 millimeters. She was grateful for these small improvements, even though she still had her limitations. I began to wonder, should it really be necessary to lose a gift to fully appreciate it, or the fact that I can enjoy the different tastes and textures of a meal that she would not be able to do again? From this experience, I started to pay more attention to relatively smaller things in my life to get the most out of them. The third experience that I'd like to share was when I volunteered for an elderly home with my friend. There, I led the bingo sessions. A couple of the ladies who had trouble hearing stayed at my table in the front as I was calling out the numbers to avoid confusion. One of these ladies began speaking to me between the number calls, and by the end of a couple sessions, we knew a lot about each other and became good friends. The 5th time I came around to lead the bingo game, however, after the first number call, she said to me, "Hello, what's your name, darling?" My heart sank. I remember thinking, I guess this is what it feels like to lose someone. the relationship was gone. But then I figured, she's not dead. She just has Alzheimer's. And instead of being hung up on a relationship that we had, I realized that I had an opportunity to make a new one with her. Something that would not present itself if she had died. From this experience, I learned to make the best of any situation. Like this, my weird personality formed. Rather than closing myself off to an image that society presets for me, I was guided to making my own decisions. I would like to keep this innocence with me forever. Not the oblivious kind, but the open-minded kind. The kind that will encourage me to be different and take risks in life, and not be afraid of the repercussions. Now, don't get me wrong. The act of building an identity is a lifelong endeavor. I am nowhere near done. I still want to explore the world, meet more of a variety of people, and experience more things outside my comfort zone. If people had the chance to start over, something everyone thinks about at a certain point in their life, they would want to fix their mistakes. It seems pretty obvious. For me, you'd think I'd study a little harder, make some more friends, and be more carefree. However, at this stage, if someone did create a time machine to miraculously turn the clock, I would think, would I really change anything? I got what I finally wanted, to get into a good college and have a comfortable vision of my future. I also gained some really amazing friends, and now I'm truly and carefree, yet focused. So, if the day does come, I wouldn't change anything really, because all the steps I've taken to get here, robotics, Girl Scouts, basketball, heck, even my awkward middle school stage, made me who I am. Lastly, I'd like to say that although I'm quite content with who I've become over the years as Ria, I will always carry a little bit of Arohi and Tigger with me, and I'm not afraid to flaunt it around. Nobody has time for normal. Weird is good.